Hey, guys and gals, and welcome back to the 3B Podcast with Braden, Ben, and special guest Henry. On today's episode, we will talk about the long absence we had on the pod, the Super Bowl, some NCAA basketball, the NBA, and the big UFC fight this weekend. Thanks for tuning in. All right, guys, so we got special guest Henry on here.
What's up?
Say what's up, Henry. Say what's up. But, so we'll just go ahead and talk about the fact that we haven't been on for the past 3 weeks. I had COVID, and it's been a struggle to get back into podcasting and just like daily routine, daily life. It's been a struggle. I definitely was hit hard by COVID. Ben, you can talk about what you had.
Yeah, I actually came down with mono.
So 2 out of the 3 people were sick, so it's kind of hard to do the podcast. So, but
why did you expand on that mono, Ben? Why?
Yeah, what were you doing, Ben? Were you out there kissing girls?
A little bit too much.
Were you doing too much kissing, Ben?
That's apparently how you get mono.
Ben, come on, Ben. You need to be behaving over here. Come on, Ben. You're supposed to be the good one out of the group. Come on. All right, guys. Well, okay. So, do y'all want to dive on in and talk about the Super Bowl?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, the score for the Super Bowl, and we're doing this really late. I know we're doing the Super Bowl really, really late. We really wanted to get on here and talk about it, and Braden's not in here. I'll kind of relay some of his thoughts on the Super Bowl. I talked to him before we started the episode, so I'll relay some of his thoughts throughout the pod. But, so it's 23-20. The Rams won, like me and you predicted. We said the Rams were going to win. Henry, before I get into talking about it, what did you think? Did you think that the Rams were going to win?
Yeah, I wanted the Bengals to win, but I figured the Rams were going to win. I didn't think it would be this close, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought, especially when the first half was going on, because OBJ was balling, Cooper Kupp was balling. I didn't think that it was going to be a close game. I thought the Rams were going to run away with it, and then OBJ gets hurt, and then it becomes a close game. Mm-hmm. But anyways, so the score was 23-20. Matthew Stafford played pretty well. Joe Burrow played pretty well. Matthew Stafford's stats were 26 for 40, 283, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, had a rating of 90, QB rating of 90. Joe Burrow had 22 for 33, 263 yards, a touchdown, and a QB rating of 100. So apparently they thought Joe Burrow played better. And, of course, Cooper Kupp was the Super Bowl MVP. I think there was a lot of people that going in thought he was going to be the MVP, just based on how he'd been playing this year and the fact that the Rams were the favorites and many people had the Rams winning. What did y'all think? I was sick with COVID during the game. So, I was awake and then asleep and then awake and then asleep. So I missed part of the game, saw most of the game, but I was kind of in and out, wasn't feeling the greatest. But yeah, what did y'all think about the game?
I watched it head to toe. I actually watched it here with Henry and a few others, and I thought it was really good. I feel bad for OBJ. He was balling out until he had that injury. That's tough. Hate to see that. But I thought it was good overall. I was very happy with Kupp. As a few of y'all know, I was riding that Stafford-Kupp connection, and they did it again. I don't know. It's just fun to watch them play. Kupp's route running is amazing, and I feel bad for Eli Apple.
Yeah, he was getting roasted on Twitter.
Yeah.
He was getting roasted on Twitter.
Poor buddy has a lot coming his way.
Yeah, I know.
Well, what about you, Hen?
Oh, well, I watched the whole thing. As a Browns fan, as a very devout Browns fan, it pained me to watch OBJ going up in the Super Bowl. So when he got hurt, I wasn't happy. I wasn't, but I was relieved that he wasn't going to win Super Bowl MVP and really throwing our faces. Kupp was my fantasy wide receiver, so obviously, I knew what was going to happen. I expected it. I thought he would actually do more. A lot of controversy about the Super Bowl was about the calls, on the linebackers and all that stuff. And those, I found it weird that they let him play most of the game. Yeah. And then right at the end, they start the most calls that I've seen the whole game started happening, holdings and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, even in the end zone, I was awake for that part. I made sure I was awake for the late part. but like you're saying, with the penalties, even the one that extended the drive for the Rams at the end for them to score. So yeah, continue. Sorry, I interrupted.
The linebacker holding call where they treat about the Kupp and he has his hand just barely on Kupp and they said holding.
Yeah,
you gotta let them play defense at that point, and that wasn't really holding. That is not my opinion. like I thought the Rams would win, but like I also wanted it to be like a better like officiating job. But they,
yeah, no,
we can only
yeah.
wish.
I completely understand what you're saying. Yeah, okay. Well, I got a question for you. This is kind of like a side note because you were talking about OBJ and you're a Browns fan. So I want to hear from your perspective. What do you think happened in like why did it not go well with Baker and Odell? Why is he doing better with the Rams than he is with Do you think it's because he's not having to be the main guy?
You know what's funny about it is like when like obviously that field free agency thing was happening and everyone was like, OBJ to the Browns. I was like, this would be cool because you would think that it would work because him and Baker Mayfield are like so close off the field and like they all want to play together. Him and Jarvis want to play together. But this time was like egos in the room. Like OBJ came from being the guy in New York, right? And Baker's like the guy of Cleveland. So it's like those two things like start to bash. And I feel like I know this is what everyone's been saying, but like for me personally, just like the pressure of having to like just like give the ball to the guy. Like if OBJ isn't getting past, he's just scared that he's gonna like do an OBJ things. But like I felt like personally, I was watching OBJ like mature from the like on the Rams, like just because like they already had Cup.
Yeah. And
also I feel like it helped him that Robert Woods went out with the ACL injury.
Yeah, that really did.
Yeah, because like
he moved from the 3 to the 2, which is I feel like a perfect spot in his career for him to be the 2 wide receiver because he can do so much damage if you just let him play slot.
Yes.
Like and like unlike the Browns, all respect to Jarvis Landry, he's not Cooper Kupp.
No.
Right. So like Cooper Kupp is giving you that productivity, and even if you weren't doing as well, winning cures all. And the Browns, they were all doing bad, and we were still losing.
Yeah.
So,
do you think Baker's injury had as much an impact on the season as a lot of people are saying?
Yes, I do. But
because I agree with you. I agree with you.
I'm also on the like group of people that said if you're injured, don't play. Because like if you go out,
you want to go with Case Keenum though?
No, but if you go out there, we're expecting to see the best quarterback possible. Yeah. So if you're hurt, just sit it out. So I was like, just heal up for the next season. Like, hey, we take the losses, okay? Give it to Case, Yeah. But I'm not off the Baker Mayfield wagon yet, okay? We have one. This is our year.
I'm not either. Like he can play. I think right now he's a middle of pack quarterback. Well, maybe he can come back and
I agree.
Prove that he's a top 10. Who knows? But before we move on, I want to talk about. So let's just right here, right now. What are y'all's early season predictions? Well, not early season, but next season predictions about who's in the Super Bowl next year.
As much as it pains me to say it, Kansas City's probably going to be a super big contender again. And Buffalo, of course, Allen and Mahomes. Yeah. I'm hoping the Cowboys
can
stop being stupid and actually play like we should. That would be awesome. Yeah. But hopefully we'll see the Cowboys turn it up. But from the NFC, if Rodgers is still in Green Bay, I think they'll be there. But whether or not they perform,
haven't we been saying that for so many years though? It's just like when are you gonna step up? You're 1-4. You're 1-4 in your past NFC Championship appearances. Like Aaron Rodgers, you're regarded as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. Show up. Yes. Show up. You got to do better than against the 49ers. You can't put up 10 points.
Really. It's hilarious that it's the Niners that keeps getting them because like everybody else just beats the Niners.
Yeah. it's ridiculous. And I mean, of course, my Rudy Poot Cowboys, me and Ben's Rudy Poot Cowboys, of course, they get beat by the 49ers. But I mean, Green Bay got beat by them, so that makes me feel a little better. So, but anyways, okay. So I'm thinking for the Super Bowl next year, I'm gonna probably ride the same kind of bandwagon for you. As you said, but I'm going to say probably Kansas City out of the AFC. I think it'll be Buffalo and Kansas City between them next year. I think it'll be a long time before we see Burrow again. I don't think the Bengals will be there. I think they've got too many struggles. I think they had a lucky break this year, just to be honest. So I think it'll be between the Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, and then on the NFC, that's hard. Mm-hmm. Which I mean, I would say. Kind of, this is like a weird prediction, not a weird, but some people might be surprised. But I would say the Cardinals if it wasn't for all the stuff going on with Kyler Murray, and we probably need to dive into that. I didn't even think about that. Talking about that too. But yeah, so I'm thinking probably along the same bandwagon. I'm thinking Aaron Rodgers will probably stay with Green Bay based on what I'm hearing. I think it'll probably be Green Bay.
Just pissed off all the Titans fan on the podcast right now. But House in Nashville, guys, he's gonna be here. Don't worry, he's coming. For me, I'm gonna give you my biased opinion and my no. So obviously, the Bengals made the Super Bowl, and there's a team in that division that beat the Bengals twice.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
And it just happened to be my Cleveland Browns. Okay, so we're gonna take my Cleveland Browns are going to the Super Bowl. That's my biased opinion. If I'm being real with myself, it's gonna be the Bills.
The Bills. Henry, we're Cowboys fans, and we know better than to say the Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. You should know better too, Henry. Okay.
I made sure to say it was biased. Okay, but going off trends, the Bengals made it, and we beat them. So we're Super Bowl champions, in my opinion. Okay. And we beat them by we beat them by 1 or 3 points. Okay. Okay. If I'm being real with myself, the Bills. I feel like the Bills, after exactly how the season ended, they're gonna come up with like a lot more like will to kill. They're not gonna like play overtime games anymore. They're gonna come to like we're gonna just beat everybody and beat them by a lot.
Yeah,
I feel like they have unlike Kansas City, who doesn't have like really have the defense to like back up that offense. The Bills have that. They're gonna like come out to like this is our revenge season. We're gonna take it all.
Yeah, I mean you could be right.
Yeah, in the NFC, it's a lot harder.
Yeah,
like I agree with Braden. I was like, it should be like Cardinals easy, but like Kyler Murray and all this stuff about saying like he's not a good like locker room person. That's strange. I really don't think the Green Bay would do it. If the Niners have anything to say about it, the Green Bay wouldn't be there. Right? Yeah. And if Brady was to, I'd be like, oh, it's Tom Brady. The Bucs are going to the Super Bowl, but I don't know who they're going to put back there. So
yeah. Well, the Colts are a team to look out for too. I was thinking about that. If they do upgrade at the quarterback, like they're talking about moving on from Carson Wentz. And we don't have to talk about this for a long time, but they're talking about moving on from Carson Wentz and going with another quarterback.
Wait, do you think Wentz goes Bucs?
I don't know where Wentz is going to go. I mean, what do you do with Wentz? He's not good. He's not.
He's more proven than Trask.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor was the engine that made that team go.
Oh, I agree 100%.
And the defense was really good. So yeah, but who knows? It's a long NFL season. Injuries happen, so who knows? It could be some team we don't even think. You know what? It could be the Cowboys. It could be the Cowboys, like
Cowboys Browns?
Cowboys Jags.
Cowboys Jags. Oh crap.
If the Jags,
Trevor Lawrence comes out and he's the MVP next year.
If the Jags beat every team in the AFC, I will buy every single player on the Jags jersey.
You heard it here first. Henry will buy every single jersey if they get there. That just motivated them hardcore, Henry, because they want you to buy one jersey of each player.
I think they're struggling to get Trevor Lawrence jerseys to sell.
All right, guys. So we talked about the NFL for a little bit, which the NFL is slowing down. So this will be more probably UFC, which the first few weeks were us talking about the NFL because that was the main thing going on. Probably be more the NCAA basketball for the next month. We're going to be talking about March Madness. We're going to probably try to cover that in depth. We're also going to be talking about the NBA a lot. Me and Ben, we like the NBA. Braden, of course, is not here. Oh, crap. Let me add on. I completely forgot about this, and I'll continue with what we'll talk about. But so Braden Wall wanted to add, he said he rode with the Bengals the whole way, and he's upset that they got beat, but he's proud of Joey Burrow. He wanted me to add that. So there you go, Braden. I gave you a little shout out because I know you're not here. Braden, he decided he was too good to show up today, so we had to invite Henry. We might have to include Henry more on the episodes. We might have to make it 4.
Get some diversity in here.
Yeah, well, we get some diversity in here. You know what, Henry? Don't take any offense to this. How many people do you think are going to understand what you're saying?
The 2 Nigerians who tune in because of me. Hey guys,
my Nigerian TikTok people are going to be joining in here, baby.
How you doing?
Well, let's go. Let's add some diversity to the pod, baby. Let's go. No, but I'm enjoying you here. So seriously, we might have to add you in here. Okay, so now we were going to talk about the NCAA. Should I just go ahead and say the rankings right now, then we can talk about some of our favorites, and then we can talk about. You talk about the 6 teams lost. We can talk about that a little bit too. So we have Gonzaga, Arizona, Baylor, Duke, Auburn, Kansas, Kentucky, Purdue, Providence, Wisconsin, Villanova, Texas Tech, Tennessee, Houston, Arkansas, USC, UCLA, Connecticut, St. Mary's, Illinois, Texas, Murray State. That's kind of surprising. Murray State. Ohio State, and then Iowa and Alabama. Okay, so we have 2 close states in here. We can talk about Tennessee, and we can talk about Alabama a little bit if y'all want to, or we can just talk about whoever y'all want to talk about. We can talk about Kentucky. We can talk about Auburn. But, yeah, what are some of y'all's early thoughts on the NCAA basketball? Not early, but kind of late thoughts on the NCAA.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't really watch NCAA basketball, okay? But I'm going to say I see Murray State in here, and school shout out. If Tech wins today, we play them tomorrow. So shout out Tech.
Austin P got, which I went to Austin P for a year. They got demolished by Tennessee Tech.
Shout out Keyshawn Davidson.
Blew my mind. That blew my mind. It was like 78-51.
Yep.
It's crazy.
So go Tech. But honestly, I'm just gonna say,
what if they upset a top 25 team?
That would be insane.
That would be insane.
Are we coming into buying tickets to March Madness if Tech makes it?
Let's do it. I think I may be going. One of my old coaches, he gets tickets, and sometimes we're able to go. So nice. I'm hoping I'm able to go. Yeah, I mean, do you think Gonzaga? I mean, is it going to be this year where Gonzaga is the favorite? Which clearly right now they're the favorite. You said they were at 38%.
Yes, I saw something where they have like a 38% chance to win, and the next closest was like 8 or something. It was unreal because there was like 18 teams listed.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, what are the chances of that?
Well, so, I mean, do you think that they make it to the playoffs or the 1 seed, which is what it's looking like, and then they blow it? I mean, because like that's what they
always
do a lot of times. Yes. They get to the top, they're number 1 going in, and then they lose.
And, yeah, actually, that is exactly what I'm thinking. Gonzaga always goes.
You could argue that the loss would kind of like wake them up a little bit, but then again, they still a lot more games before.
They have their whole West Coast.
Yeah, hey, Ben, dive in a little bit on the fact that you said that the 6 top teams lost.
Oh, yes. On the 26th of February, the top 6 teams all lost for the first time. And, I mean, I know that we've talked about the last few years, there hasn't been like an outstanding teams where they just don't lose to unranked teams and stuff like that. It's kind of been more like of a mix where teams
like Kentucky. Kentucky a few years ago when they went undefeated and lost maybe 1 game before. Yeah, we haven't had that.
No, we haven't really had that. And
which is nice.
Yes,
it's nice.
But yeah, all the top 6 teams they lost for the first time, and dude, it was for whatever reason these teams cannot play on the road. I mean, I get that there's home court advantage, but like. You play half your season on the road. Yeah. And some of them lost to unranked teams. Like, what are you doing?
Well, especially, and you see that a lot in the SEC. I noticed that a lot, which I mean, you see that in all conferences, but you see it a lot in the SEC. Like, I saw Tennessee, they lost to Mississippi State, I believe it was, a couple of days ago. They had been on like a 9 or 8 game win streak, I believe, something like that. They had won their previous games, a few of them at least. And they lost to Mississippi State on the road, and Mississippi State wasn't ranked. But yeah, you see that a lot now. So,
I even know who St. Mary's was. I saw that. Isn't that LeBron's high school?
I was sitting there thinking, is Ja back? Is Ja back in Murray State? What in the world's going on here? But so what? Based on, I know you said you don't watch it a lot, Henry, but we'll go with you first. Who do you think is going to be your favorite? Out of what you've seen so far in the NCAA, your favorite team to win it?
Well, I'm a Ohio State fan, football fan.
So they are ranked.
I'm just gonna go with Ohio State, and pray that it happens. And if it doesn't, why not? Shout out Duke.
Duke,
because why not?
So your 2 teams are Duke and Ohio State.
Yeah, go Coach K.
Okay, Ben, what you got?
Obviously I'm gonna pull for my Gators. I think we'll make it. I mean, we'll be a lower seed, but. I think we'll make it. But realistically, I could see someone like Baylor or Arizona pulling this out.
You think Baylor goes 2 years in a row?
I think it's possible. I don't see Gonzaga doing it. I'm going to go ahead and say
it. I don't. 1,000%. If I had to say, just based on past stuff and just thinking about like coaching and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Villanova.
Yeah.
Just because Villanova always seems to wind up there.
Are they ranked?
And yes, they're ranked 11th. And I got to shout out the Vols, okay? Like the Vols, they've had some bad losses, but I do think that they can compete with any team because they play good defense.
Yeah.
They play really good defense, which, I mean, that's the staple point for a lot of college basketball teams. But they do play really good defense, so I think the Vols could be there. So do y'all have anything else y'all want to add on the NCAA, or we can just go ahead and move on if y'all want to?
Yes. Drew Timmy, I'm calling you out, buddy. Play better, okay? I bet money on your team.
You heard it. You heard it here. He's calling you out. Henry's calling you out. The Nigerian wants you to play better. Okay.
Exactly. I don't even play basketball, but I want you to play better.
Okay. All right. So, guys, today, actually, in recent news, the NBA vaccination status. Well, the NFL, my fault, the NFL vaccination status. The NFL said that there's no more protocols for COVID. They have no more COVID-19 protocols going into next season. We also can talk about, too, the NBA. We can talk about Kyrie, which has been a big thing that's been going on because I think it's ridiculous. Me and Henry were talking about this beforehand. I think it's ridiculous that, of course, in New York, that's where Kyrie plays in Brooklyn, plays for the Nets. And Kyrie cannot play at home, but guests can come in to the arena and can play without being vaccinated. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. They're talking about, New York's talking about lifting the mandate that they had because, I mean, it starts with New York. What New York does affects what happens in the NBA and that certain area, what allows people to play. And they say it's like a tourist thing, like people are coming in to watch the game, and some people are going to be unvaccinated that come in. But if you live there and you play like Kyrie does, and you play for Brooklyn, you have to be vaccinated in order to play. So he can only play away games. And I think it's ridiculous because you got people coming in that can give you COVID that are not vaccinated on other teams, and they get to play. They either need to have it where you can't play if you're vaccinated in that arena, or you can play. It can't be one or it can't. It's got to be both. It's got to be both. Both got to be able to play. I just don't think that's right. And I also think some of the reasoning that I've heard behind it is for like tourists and stuff, they want people to feel like people in that area, they want it to make a statement saying, hey, like, we support you being vaccinated. That's what we want. You need to be vaccinated. That's their goal, apparently. But also with like tourism, they're talking about tourism and stuff, like letting other people's come in and play. Kyrie brings a bunch of people into the arena. You know, Kyrie is a show starter. Like he brings the show. So I think it's just ridiculous. But go ahead, Henry. You elaborate more on it too. You talk about what you think about it.
Especially with Harden now. Like you think that they would want to like have a star because like KD's been hurt and now everyone just watch who you watch
and they've been losing.
Yeah, who's like KD's hurt. We're all watching Patrick Mills jack up threes. Now that's what we're doing. We watch the Nets. Okay, so and even Adam Silver was saying it was stupid. So like if the NBA commissioner thinks it's dumb, then I feel like that should like give them more initiative to like okay, yeah, this we are kind of being kind of dumb here. Because I also the point because you're losing money for the team and you're losing them games. And we all know if Brooklyn makes the playoffs with KD healthy and Kyrie healthy, that's like
it's better for the NBA.
That's what I want to know is like, so would they like keep this in like if Brooklyn like makes the playoffs, would they go, oh yeah, Kyrie, you can't play? Would they be like, okay, now with Kyrie you can come play because we have a chance at the title? That's what I want to know.
Well, they've said that it was a matter of time, is what I understood. Now whether it would be this season, who knows? But they said it's a matter of time before it's lifted. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
I can almost guarantee you that if they made the playoffs, Kyrie's going to play home games.
Which I'm pretty sure they're going to be a lot. KD's coming back. You're going to have Simmons. They're going to have a good team. That's definitely a team I would be afraid of going into the playoffs. Then again, you also got to develop chemistry, and I don't know when they're going to have time to develop this chemistry.
Depending on the away games.
Well, not even that, because Ben Simmons isn't playing right now. Yeah. Ben Simmons isn't playing.
He's week to week.
And he hasn't played any this season. Who knows where his head's at going into the playoffs?
3-pointers.
3-point. Jacking them up 7 a game.
And dunking on point guards. There you go, Ben. I believe in you.
Well, you know they're saying that he's going to be playing power forward for him when he comes back.
Yes.
They're moving him to the power forward position. They're not going to play him at point guard, which of course I'm sure he'll do some dribbling up. He'll dribble up the court, of course, do his assists because he's too good of a passer for them not to take advantage of it.
I guess it helps them that way. Kyrie, Kevin, you just have to be more versatile, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Which, I mean, in Kyrie's small for a 2-guard, but Kyrie should be playing a 2-guard because Kyrie's better if like a catch and shoot or a catch and drive. Kyrie's just small, so you would put him at the 1. They had the same problem with James Harden. It wasn't really a problem, but James Harden was essentially the point guard, but Kyrie was listed as the point guard.
Yeah.
You know, so because James Harden's a better passer, Kyrie's
a better ball handler,
better. I'm not gonna say better scorer. James Harden is a better ISO scorer. Kyrie can do more with the ball. That's what I'll say. But yeah. So do y'all think is Brooklyn gonna be there at the end?
In championship?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't call that. They were almost there. It's not, if KD like were a size smaller, they would have been in the final.
And that's with that. And that was without. I think that was without Kyrie, and that was without Kyrie and James Harden was hobbled. Yeah. He had a bad hamstring. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was just KD going against the Bucks.
I know, but I'm excited to watch that Philly Nets playoff game if it happens. Yeah, that's going to be so fun.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's a perfect segue into our next conversation. Okay, Ben Simmons, James Harden trade. First off, who do y'all think won the trade?
The Nets.
You think the Nets won?
100%. 100%.
The question is, will James Harden show up when it matters most? Because James Harden is balling out right now.
Yes, he
the dude's almost averaging a triple-double. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, I don't know if y'all watch the NBA on TNT, Shaq says the team that won the trade is the team that got the best player. James Harden is clearly the best player, but will James Harden be James Harden when it matters most? That's the question. So I think I agree with y'all. I think that the Nets won the trade because they got Seth Curry.
And Drummond.
And picks. And they got Ben Simmons, you know? I mean, and I know there's a lot of people that are saying crap about Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons is a good player. He's made the All-Star team 3 times.
He's a great defender.
Yes. Lockdown defense. Put him on anybody. 1 through 5, the dude can play lockdown. Not lockdown because it's NBA, but the dude can play great defense on them.
He will probably be the one guarding James Harden if they play.
Yes, probably.
He will probably say that again.
He'll probably be the one guarding James Harden.
Oh yeah, for sure. That would be so cool to watch. Him guarding James Harden.
And then Drummond and Embiid.
Yeah. And they played together. Drummond will have something to prove because he was coming off the bench.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole thing with LA that went on, and then he went to. I think he got traded to another team before he went to the 76ers. Am I right?
I think he went straight to the Sixers.
He went straight to the Sixers?
Yeah,
okay.
so.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that would be a great matchup in the playoffs. I'd love to see that.
I think where me and Ben stand on the whole trade thing, because we talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Almost every day. It's like, you give up way too much just for James Harden.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, there's like...
And he's been injury prone. He's been injury prone lately.
See, I don't care about... This is for me, it's like, it's not even injuries. Like, he's proven many times that he can't beat the good teams by himself.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that he's going to do the exact thing that Ben Simmons did without the defense and not score in like the last game 6 and 7 of the, what they call it, because he always shows up little.
Yeah, well, okay, we could talk about Golden State.
Yeah.
Game 7. Remember when they went
27 missed threes?
Yeah, they like if they would have made
one of them.
Well, you're probably right. If they would have just made 1 or 2 of them, then we could be having a completely different conversation about James Harden. James Harden might still be with the Rockets if they had won a championship. But, you know, I'm not even worried about the injuries. I'm not even worried about him showing up in the playoffs because we can say whatever we want to say about him. The dude still puts up numbers. He still puts up 30 points in the playoffs. Is it sometimes efficient? No. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not. But the way he plays, it's hard to be efficient in the play, especially in the playoffs because people are going to be playing a lot harder. I'm worried about him quitting from the 76ers. He's quit on 2 teams.
He did lose weight. He's lost a lot of weight.
But he's quit on 2 teams. He quit on the Rockets, and then a year later, he quit on the Nets. I mean, yes, they said he was injured. He just didn't want to play. And if you watched him play for the Brooklyn Nets, he did not look like he wanted to be there.
I feel like it's just the same thing that it's been like even on the Rockets. Like when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he doesn't know what to do. I feel like that's why he's going to be good on Philly. Is that Embiid doesn't need the ball. He just passes him in the paint and he will score. Right? James Harden gets to do most of the ball handling. When he was on Houston. Like you could see, like you could if you watch the games when like Chris Paul would bring the ball up, he would just go stand in the corner, and like be basically doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know, like all the guards run around and all that stuff. He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
He likes having the ball in his hand and he likes scoring. And that's why I think
ISO. That's why it's hard to play with him because he plays so much ISO. It's hard to have another superstar.
Apparently that's why he left the Nets because they're saying that like he wanted to play ISO ball and KD didn't want to do that. So
yeah, well, I mean, think about it. So he had with the Rockets, he had 3 different superstars. He had Dwight Howard, which Dwight Howard wasn't
prime Dwight Howard.
He wasn't prime Dwight, but he was still really good. He was still giving you a double-double. He was still giving you like 16 and 12. So he had Dwight Howard. That didn't work out. Dwight Howard wanted to leave. He had before Chris Paul. No, he had Chris Paul. Then he had Russell Westbrook.
He also had John Wall.
And he had John Wall.
He did have John Wall.
Well, they didn't play.
I mean, backed up ACL John Wall, but like John Wall.
Yeah, I mean, he still played well though. He was kind of like Dwight. He still did good when he did play. He granted he was hurt a lot.
Well, James Harden was just kind of not James Harden though when he was with John Wall, because that was when he was getting traded, and that's when they brought in that new coach. Essentially, it seemed like a rebuild, but you're still keeping James Harden, so it's like make your mind up. And then finally, James Harden was like, I don't want to be here. He left. But like, I just don't. I mean, it'll play out. We'll see. You know, Philly had a good team regardless. Now they just got better. I think Embiid and Harden play very well together.
They do.
They are going to be dangerous on the pick and roll. I don't care what any. They are going to be super dangerous on the pick and roll. We're already seeing it. They're developing chemistry. That's the advantage that they have right now over Brooklyn is the fact that they're playing. They're playing together. You know, and so I mean we'll see. I mean and that was the issue with Kyrie, KD, and KD. And Harden, that was the issue. They never played together. They played like 13 games together. Yeah. So,
my problem is that like the whole Seth Curry trade. Like when it comes down to it, when Harden and Embiid are like, or let's just say this, when Embiid gets hurt, because it's going to happen at some point.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
He's always not. He always has like a knock. Who's going to be that second shooter? Because you should Seth Curry away, and he's really good. And I know they have Tobias Harris.
But yeah.
Respect it. But like, Danny Green is not shooting what Steph Curry is shooting. Yeah, and I know they put him on there for his defense, but that defense is I feel like it's also overrated a lot.
Well, plus, think about it. Harden's 32.
Yeah.
Curry.
Contract year coming up, too, and he's going to want a big one.
Curry was 31.
Simmons is also young.
Simmons is 25, and Drummond's 28. Granted, he moves slow, but he's still got time to prove and wait to lose.
Yeah.
So Harden is way older than those guys. So...
Yeah, no. I mean, I agree. I think that they won the trade. I agree with y'all. I think that it's fairly clear that the Nets won the trade because they got good players. They got multiple good players. It's not like they got like young prospects. We don't know what they're going to do. They've gotten proven. I'm putting quotation around it. Proven players. You know what you're getting is what I'm saying. You know what you're getting, and you don't necessarily know what you're getting with Harden half the time. So
Harden and we forgot Paul Millsap.
Yeah, throw that name in there. All right, so talking about teams that we're not really sure about, what's going on with the Lakers? What's going on with the Lakers? I mean, so here's what I'll start off by saying this. Here's what I kind of thought going in. I thought it would be a struggle early, and then I thought, like Russell Westbrook has done, like he did last year with the Wizards, the second half of the season, it would go well. I say that. That's what I thought was probably going to end up happening. They've lost 4 straight, something like that. They've lost consecutive games in a row. Lost a close one last night. Okay. Do you think it's safe to say that they're going to make the play-in?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look. Let's pull up the standings. Tell me how many games out there they are from not being in.
All right, they are 2.5 games from not being in the play-in.
Yeah, so there's not. Well, there's been over 60 games played, hasn't there?
Yeah.
See, there's probably been close to 70 played, hasn't there?
Yeah. See,
okay. They're fairly safe.
I would be scared because like the Pelicans have won 3 and they've lost 3, but the Blazers are not making it look like they're gonna make it either.
Yeah. So, and then we have the Pelicans. We didn't even talk. That was a big trade. We can just barely talk about it. But C.J. McCollum, the Pelicans are going to be good.
Yes.
If Zion Williamson gets healthy, the Pelicans will be a legitimate team.
If
Just want to say that. If Zion gets healthy, who knows, though? Dude's getting fat. He just consistently is getting fat,
Zion
overweight.
He found those New Orleans beignets and he was game over.
Oh, me. Okay, so we feel safe about them getting in. What are our thoughts about Russell Westbrook? I mean, I feel like going in, didn't think it was going to work out that great. I figured it would pick up and get better as the season went on. But, man, AD is in and out of the lineup. LeBron was hurt early on in the year. Russell Westbrook has not been playing good. They just don't mesh well. And if you're LeBron, you've wasted a year. I mean, essentially, you've wasted a year. But the problem is LeBron, which is kind of pissing me off, to be honest with you. LeBron complains about Rob Pelinka, puts up like cryptic tweets about like the Rams GM saying that's what you do. Who cares about draft picks? You win now, all this stuff. Like, bro, you put the team together. Buddy Hield would be a much better player for y'all than Russell Westbrook. It's your fault that you're in the situation that you're in because you're basically the GM, you know? So what do y'all think about the Lakers struggles? What's the main issue?
I think, by me personally, I don't ever like. I'm not gonna be like the guy. I'm a Warriors fan. We lost a 3-1 lead to this guy, so I'm not a kind of LeBron kind of guy. I'm like, be wary, right? Because all these players, as much as we say they suck right now, if they're all on a team together, they're gonna be hard to beat. I feel like come playoff time is when they're gonna really like start showing themselves. Didn't I understand about that whole shit? Was the whole like why get Carmelo?
You want to come in and the team that you decide to start showing yourself as, you want that to be the Suns or the Warriors?
Hey,
I don't know what they're thinking if they want to do that. You know,
it seems that like the mindset really changes like in the playoffs. Like a team that's like 7 plays, that's like think, okay, if we win this game, we can make it. I feel like that's all they ask for is like just give us the chance to like if they get in, they're gonna like try to play hard. Not saying they're gonna win because like last year, like you can do all you want to. LeBron can play as good as he wants to. They weren't beating the Suns or the Jazz. It wasn't gonna happen.
Well, the thing is, LeBron can't do a lot of the other stuff that he used to could do. He's older now. He can score, but not as, I don't want to say as well, because he's scoring at a high rate consistently and fairly efficiently. Well, not fairly. He's scoring efficiently. He's shooting above 50%, if I'm not mistaken. But he can't do what he used to do in the playoffs.
I feel like the problem is like they still think that's like come playoff time, LeBron's gonna be LeBron, right? But I think that's not true anymore. It's not as true as it used to be. Like before, you could be like, oh yeah, this Cavs team is not good at all, but they have LeBron, and he would take them there. But like now it's like he can't really carry that team. Like AD is the guy on that team. As he should.
They want AD to be the guy.
Yeah, he should be. He's because when he plays, they expect to win more than.
And he's not doing that, and that's the main issue that I kind of wanted to dive into. And people are using Russell Westbrook as a scapegoat. AD hasn't been playing like AD. He hasn't played like a top 5 player.
Well, I was about to say it's not necessarily that. I think he's been playing really well, but the problem is AD cannot stay out there. The Bud cannot stay on the court. He's not supposed to be reevaluated to another like 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you have to play. You're the star guy. But I mean,
well, I mean, I was talking about early season because you're right. AD started playing better.
Yes.
Later on, when he came back, he started playing better. Mm-hmm. It wasn't consistent though. One night you get like Shaq's, and I've listened to Shaq and Charles Barkley talk about it. One night you're getting 25 and 12. One night you're getting 18 and 7. Now 18 and 7, granted, for a normal player, that's good. But AD's not a normal player. He's supposed to be a top 5 player, and he's supposed to be. He's in his prime, and LeBron's not. And LeBron is doing more than AD. And you need to see that shift where it's going from less LeBron to more AD. And you're not getting that. You're still having to be very dependent on LeBron, and that puts a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah. I feel like it's just because of lack of playtime. If I'm being honest, I don't feel like AD takes the offseason as seriously as he should.
Yeah.
Right? Like
yeah.
I feel like if you play with LeBron after like you watch that whole like how well he takes care of his body, I don't think AD does that. Cause like you feel like if you pay all that money on your body, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, and that's what I will say I respect about LeBron is he puts millions of dollars into taking care of himself and making sure he's the best LeBron that he can be going into the season.
And that
I
he
do
can
respect
play
that.
most of the game.
Because AD is playing around with getting traded right now. He might be getting
Yeah, he might.
They're talking about trading LeBron. I've seen headlines everywhere where they might trade LeBron. I don't believe that for a second. You're going to keep LeBron as long as you can keep LeBron.
AD might be leaving the Lakers. Everyone else is saying
okay. We're talking about this, and we can still talk about it more. But let's throw this equation into it. We were talking about the trade with LeBron. So now we have LeBron's son, who's close to being in the NBA, a couple years out. Says he wants to play with his son. He's going to go anywhere and everywhere he has to go to play with his son for at least a year. Will that be LA? Will that be somewhere else? All-Star Weekend, he shows up to Cleveland. There's talk and speculation about him possibly returning to Cleveland because look at the squad that Cleveland has over there. Mm-hmm. Cleveland has a very young and good squad. Just imagine you throw a LeBron James on that team. They're better than the LA right now. So, but yeah, I mean, what are y'all's thoughts about that? Will LeBron end his career in LA? Will he go somewhere else with his son? Like, what's going to happen with all that?
I feel like LeBron's first choice would be to get his son to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
LeBron, so LeBron's like in that like nice twilight of your career where you're like trying to see it end. And where else do you want to be than LA? Like that's opportunity. You can act, all that, like Space Jam 2.
Off the court stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Off court opportunities. I think like that's what he wants. He wants to be able to like build his brand like LeBron out of basketball. You know, he wants to win an Oscar like Kobe did. You know, so like he's gonna like
he won worst actor. For Space Jam.
So he probably wants to be in LA for that. So I think his preference would be, okay, let's try to get Bronny to LA. If not, he wants to go to like somewhere else where he can like San Francisco, which I hope not. He better not come to Golden State. We do not want him. No, stay away.
I still think Cleveland's gonna be a good possibility. I could see Bronny not being drafted and going wherever he wants to go and them signing him. But I could see LeBron returning to Cleveland because he said that he would, like, he didn't shut it down. All-Star Weekend, he says, great being back home. You know, he didn't shut it down. What do you think, Ben?
I personally don't see him going back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Just because he's already been back, and then he left again. But if Bronny, like you said, goes undrafted and they get him, then that changes the whole field because he definitely wants to play with his son. But I think he's going to try to get Bronny over
to LA.
Mm-hmm. And if we all know LeGM, if we know him like he does, then, well, I know who the Lakers are picking whenever he's eligible.
First undrafted player to get a $3 million per year contract.
If Bronny goes undrafted, there's going to be a whole like sweepstakes to get Bronny James because they know if we bring him here, LeBron's coming.
How good will LeBron be at that point in his career?
No, he would not be.
Will he be like an MJ when he returned and played for the Wizards? Is that what we're expecting? Like a 18 and 6 guy?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Which I mean is still good. But I don't know if LeBron. That's the thing that I kind of worry about. I don't know if that LeBron would want to play basketball if he can't play at the highest level.
I don't feel like his play style is like going to transfer over with like if his body starts like. Which he does a great job of keeping it in check, right? But the when it starts to leave him, his play style is very like in the paint.
Yeah. Well, he's not like Tom Brady.
Exactly. And athletes are only getting better. This NBA just get it. They cannot jump out of the gym. They cannot hit anybody. It's gonna start like so. He's gonna be like and he can't shoot that well. You know?
Yeah.
So he might be riding the bench at the time. But
I mean, think about it. How many 40-point games have you seen him drop recently?
Yeah.
I feel like LeBron Bronny season is gonna be a season like the Kobe end season, like where like he just has a game where he drops 60 points in a game and they'll go, that's the guy. That was the guy. You know, that's LeBron that I know.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of speculation around that. There's been a lot of talk, especially All-Star Weekend when they returned back. So I just kind of wanted to know what y'all's thoughts were on that.
LeBron Bronny farewell tour. What's going to happen?
Yeah. They're going to pull out the red carpet for him. Okay, guys. Well, I just wanted to take a moment to talk about my Boston Celtics, baby. Now, I believe first episode or second episode, one or the other, I said they were a team to watch out for. You know what? They were 3 games above 500 before that. Guess what they are now, baby? They're 10 games above 500, and they're playing great. G-rate, baby. You know what? They're a threat. I don't care what anybody says. You do not want to see that team in the first round of playoffs. You do not. They're not in the play-in anymore. They're sitting at 6 seed. They're 1 game or 2 games back from being the 4 seed. Telling you what, my Celtics, they're legit now. Jaylen Brown gets back from this injury, they're legit. I mean it. You better watch out.
You better hope
Wait,
so.
Just say it. Just say it.
Right now you're playing Philly.
You're playing Philly first round right now. So
You know what? I take it. I take it.
I hate to break
we
it to you,
own
buddy.
Philly.
No,
we
you
own
do not.
Philly.
I promise you.
We
Trust
own
me.
Philly. James Harden's not going to show up against the Celtics. We're going to sweep them.
Oh,
I'm calling it right now.
I don't know about that, but don't get me wrong. I would rather see the Celtics beat Philly any day. And buddy, if you're listening, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I hope
Matt,
Philly never wins
Listen,
again.
listen.
Matt, if you watch this.
From what I looked at last night, because I looked at it last night, what I feel like will end up playing out is I feel like it'll be the Bucks. So the Bucks are sitting at 4. The Cleveland Cavaliers are sitting at 5. Celtics are sitting at 6. The Raptors are sitting at 7. I feel like Boston can slide into that 4 seed or the 5 seed and play the Bucks.
Yes.
And
Which
do you want that?
Which I'd rather have. I honestly would rather have the Bucks than I would have.
That's a lot.
The 76ers.
That's a lot.
No, I'd rather have the Bucks.
Every time you play Giannis, he's forward, you guys. I think so, yes.
No.
Giannis swept you guys
The
last year.
Celtics are second in defensive efficiency this year.
They are.
They are second. And I'm just telling you, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are legit. I'm telling you, if we get into that game against the Bucks, if you watched the last year's playoffs, Drew Holiday and what's his name? And Middleton. They are not consistent. They are not consistent.
Problem is Giannis
is not going to score 50 points a game against the Celtics. I promise
Who's going to stop
that.
him? Who's going to stop him?
Robert Williams III is a hoss. He is a top 5 center right now. Top 5.
In what, the NBA?
In the NBA, yes. Look at his statistics. Robert Williams, when he plays on the court, when Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Robert Williams play on the court, they are really good.
Tell
When
me
they
the top
play
5
together,
centers.
top 5 centers. That's kind of hard to do. So we have Embiid, of course, Jokic. We throwing Giannis as a
No, Giannis is not a center.
he seems like a center.
I was say he should play that.
Yeah.
Adebayo.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay.
Bam.
No,
The
I'm
Heat-
taking
the Heat-
Robert Williams over. I'm
Heat are
taking
the one-
Robert
the
Williams
Heat are-
over Bam.
The Heat are the 1 seed.
I'm taking Robert
Heat-
Williams over
like-
Bam.
We're talking about Philly and the Bucks as the 3-4 seed because the Heat are the 1 seed.
Okay. Even if you say Bam, I said he's a top 5 center. Name 2 more centers that are better than Robert Williams, please.
Vucevic.
No.
The Bulls are the 2nd seed.
No. Okay. There's 4. Then get just from your. Who else you got?
DeAndre Ayton.
Ayton is good.
No.
Yeah,
No.
yes, yes,
No.
yes.
No.
The Suns are the 1 seed in the West.
No. Or shutting that down. Robert Williams does everything. He does everything.
Cat. Towns.
Okay, you got me on Cap. Okay, maybe not top 5,
But it's close.
Yes.
but he's okay.
I would give you
his
close.
name's
Yeah,
his
I would-
name
I
is
would
in the
give
top 7 discussion.
Yes, I agree.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
I'd-
and I don't know if y'all watch him. I watch him fairly a lot because I'm a Celtics fan. He's a consistent double-double with 2 to 5 blocks a game.
Yes, he does.
He plays hard. He does the nitty-gritty stuff, and he protects the rim. We are second in defensive efficiency because of him, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and then I haven't even talked about our trade, the White trade from the Spurs. Us picking up White. I don't know if y'all heard about that. That was a huge trade. That was a huge trade for us because White is a really good player. Really good player. Helps us on defense, helps us on offense, helps us coming off the bench, everything. I just wanted to talk about the Celtics for a little bit. Y'all can throw on your takes, and then we can talk about the UFC for the remainder of the time. So,
No, I mean, I agree. I think the Celtics are a team to watch. I think your defense is crazy good. Robert Williams is great defensively. The reason why I didn't put him in the top 5 is because he's not a shooter. Which is another reason I did not list Gobert.
Yes.
And that
yes,
reason.
Yes.
You know, I mean, they're great defensive players, though. And you can tell when they're on the court and when they're off the court.
what do you want your center to do?
Play defense, but I also would like him to shoot a little bit when he needs to. Robert doesn't really shoot much.
All he has to do is dunk. That's all we need him to
Yes,
do.
he does dunk.
Get him his. We need him to have between 12 and 16 points a night, and 12 to 16 rebounds a night. That's what we need, and he provides that majority of the time.
But he's not stopping Giannis. I had to break it to you.
Yes, he is.
Or Embiid.
Not stopping. There's no stopping those guys, but there is
Giannis-
containing.
Giannis would drop 50. Very efficiently on dribble.
We'll see. We'll talk about this. We'll definitely have you on during that time. We'll definitely have you on. Okay. We'll go at it about it. All right, guys. So this is the biggest thing that's happening this weekend. Probably the biggest fight in the UFC so far this year. Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. You know what? This is a true grudge match. These two people hate each other. So I'll talk. Y'all want me to talk about some of the headlines because I've been watching the UFC embedded and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So some of the headlines. So basically, the reason that they have such a beef. So Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington, they used to be best friends. They lived together. They worked out together. They were at the same gym. I think it was American Top Team. I believe that's what it's called. American Top Team. Same gym. Okay. So what Jorge has said, which Colby has denied this emphatically, was that the main problems that started were with Colby not paying the 5% to his coach because Jorge brought Colby up to help him with his wrestling and everything else. Colby was his training partner. They were in each other's corners for every single fight going up together. And so basically what Jorge has said is the main beef started was because Colby did not pay the 5% money that he owed Jorge's coach, which Jorge gave his coaches, said, hey, y'all go work with Colby. Y'all help Colby because they're best friends, live together, everything else. And so Jorge has said that Colby did not pay what he was supposed to pay. Colby has said that my paycheck was listed wrong. They said I made $380,000. I did not. I made $200,000. I paid what I was supposed to pay. Me and Jorge got to the point where we were at it all the time, so they kicked us both out of the gym. I went and found another gym. Jorge begged to come back. And so now he's back with American Top Team. And Colby basically has said, because during that time, the time that they said that Colby didn't pay, Colby's saying that Jorge is jealous of Colby because Jorge did not get a interim title, an interim belt. And he saw Colby getting it. And so then Colby basically was saying that Jorge was jealous and it had nothing to do with money, and that Jorge was basically just trying to build a fight. And so basically, Colby says that Jorge chose fame, UFC over their friendship, and that's why it's so personal for Colby. And then on the other side, Jorge says, oh, he didn't pay my coach. I helped him get to where he was for free. He lived in my house rent-free. I gave him all these benefits, yada, yada, yada. So I hate Colby because he didn't do what he was supposed to do and be a good person. So I think Colby's going to win. I believe Colby's side of the story. That's my opinion. So, yeah. What do y'all think?
I want Covington to get knocked out. Yes, in all honesty.
He's not going to. If Kamaru Usman couldn't do it, Jorge can't do it.
He did do it. He did knock him out.
The first fight.
I mean,
No. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
That's debatable.
If he did knock him out.
Colby got up. Colby got up, was ready to go.
And ran away from the cage. Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't. He didn't run away.
He ran away from
He didn't run away?
He ran away from the cage.
No, he didn't.
When if I was over, he didn't stay to get interviewed. He ran away.
He did not run away. Colby was ready to go. Colby got back up and was ready to fight. And you cannot tell me that anybody has fought Kamaru Usman better than Colby Covington. Colby Covington is the second best fighter in the UFC right now.
I agree.
And Jorge cannot beat the second best fighter. Jorge has lost 15 fights. He's 35-15. Colby is 18-3. Colby's gonna beat him. Colby's gonna beat him.
But there you go. I'm about to say, don't say knockout.
I wasn't gonna say knockout.
Because if they start swinging at each other, Covington's going to go down. Also, what I like about this fight is that it feels like a fight like that will be a stand-up fight. Like the Usman-Colby fight, the first one, was like, oh, we're beefing. We both know we're both wrestlers. We can both hold our own on the ground. But we're not going to wrestle this fight. I'm going to stand up to each other. I'm going to throw hands with you.
Yeah, and I think Colby's going to have the same mindset as Jorge.
I think that's why Jorge might have a chance. Is that they've both gotten each other so mad that it's a fist fight. And that's what Masvidal would want. It's like, hey, I want this wrestler to stand up with me and not stiff my jock the whole time like he says. Yeah. He said, come here and throw hands with me. And if he does that, RIP Ben Askren.
Well, hold up. But here's the difference for me. Well, I just lost my train of thought. Okay. So here's the difference for me. So Kamaru Usman is a better wrestler than Jorge Masvidal. And so Colby knows that. Colby's very smart. Colby knows that going to the ground might not be his best benefit, but Colby can try to wear him out. Colby has the gas tank of no other person in the UFC. 100%. So Colby's idea, in my opinion, was to wear Kamaru Usman out. And you saw Colby land some nice solid punches on. He stunned Kamaru, especially in that first fight. He stunned Kamaru Usman like 3 or 4 times, had him wobbling. But anyways, I think that Colby will be more inclined to go and try to go to the ground and beat Jorge up on the ground than he did with Kamaru, because he knew that Kamaru was a lot better wrestler than Jorge is. Jorge's not as good of a wrestler as Kamaru.
Jorge can't wrestle.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
What I'm saying is,
Colby's going to wear him out.
Taking him down is going to be hard. Usman said it like yesterday, that taking Masvidal down is one of the hardest things to do. And that was taking him on 2 weeks, where like he was like, he just ready for my takedowns, but he was ready for that.
Yeah.
What my fear for Masvidal is, what is your cardio? What is it? Because Kobe's not going to stop, right? Yeah. Like I was watching Chelsea talk about this the other day.
I thought it was funny that Jorge said that he was gonna stop. That was Jorge's prediction. Yeah. I'm gonna make him quit.
Yeah. Chelsea was saying that, like,
I love Chelsea.
Was saying that, what do you call it?
Biggest arms on the west side, Westport, Oregon. I believe that's what he said.
He was talking about like how Colby Covington, like he's like other wrestlers, like Kamaru Usman would wrestle. Like his takedowns are just like takedowns. He attempts it one time and lets you go. Yeah. Colby Covington like attacks the takedown to set up another takedown, and he's just like always in your face.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what's gonna be. It's like he's gonna wear Masvidal out.
Well, Colby hits. Colby never hits with 100%.
Exactly.
And Jorge does. Mm-hmm. Jorge goes for that knockout. And so what I think will happen is once you get into deeper water with Colby, that's when you have to be weary of either a knockdown or a takedown. And I feel like Jorge is going to be pissed off, and Jorge's going to come in swinging. Now, it's whether Colby can take those punches early on, and I think Colby can, because Colby is a hoss. He's a hoss. He broke his jaw in that first fight against Kamaru. Kamaru broke his jaw. He fought for 3 more rounds after breaking his jaw. I mean, Colby is a hoss.
Granted, the last 2 rounds were pretty decisive.
No, they weren't. That fight was a very close fight. You know that fight was a very close fight.
Onto the knockout, yes.
It was 2-2 going into the 5th round.
Then the knockout happened.
And the whole 5th round was very close.
No, it was a knockout.
Okay, whatever. Colby got back up and was ready to go.
No,
if you look at Colby, they shot the camera to him. We can freaking watch it after the pod, okay? We can watch it. Colby got up and was like, "Why did you stop? Why did you stop? Okay. I'm ready to go."
Because he wasn't defending himself.
Well, yes, he was. He was just taking a lot of shots from the bottom.
If you're in fetal position like that,
that's what they all do in the UFC.
Yeah, exactly. But if you don't move, they stop the fight. It's how it is.
Colby was fine. You got to know Colby. Colby is a tough dude. Colby's a tough dude.
Do you know Colby? Where'd you meet him?
He said, "Trust me."
You know why I like Colby? Because he shows up in his cheap suits and talks mad crap. That's why I love Colby.
I am so excited for these press conferences.
I am too, bro.
Okay. What are you thinking about?
I think it's gonna be super good too. I also want to see Colby lose though. I just don't like Colby. He reminds me of McGregor, and I cannot stand McGregor.
I love McGregor.
I like McGregor too.
Yeah, I love McGregor. I cannot stand them, man. They make me so mad.
Well, here's the thing though. Here's the thing that I want you to understand though too. They were talking about cutting Colby before he did all of this, and then he did the Brazil. You suck.
Yes,
you suck. You filthy animal. Did all that stuff in the interview, and he just shot up.
Yes.
But the only reason he did that was because they were saying, "Hey, nobody watches your fights. Nobody cares. You're a boring fighter. You bring everybody to the ground. Everybody likes to watch stand-up fighting," which we all agree. Yes. We love watching stand-up. Yes. The most boring rounds are the ones where they're spent on the ground. That's why Khabib.
I can't watch Khabib fight.
Yeah. That's why Khabib. People regard him as the best, but people don't enjoy watching his fights because all he does is he grabs your legs and he keeps you there until the round is over.
There's a reason Conor McGregor
or submits you.
His fight with Conor McGregor sold the most because everyone thought he was going to get a stand-up fight.
And that was the hardest fight. That's the hardest fight that Khabib's had.
That's what he said. Yeah.
It was the hardest fight. Well, I mean, if you look at it, he made it 4 rounds, and Conor clipped him a couple times, caught him a couple times, and was not doing bad. And that was drinking whiskey while training, and that was 2-year layoff, me fighting Floyd, So I always wondered what would happen if they had fought when Conor was just fully motivated in MMA. Yeah. I always wondered what. But anyways, so back to this fight. But Colby's got him. Colby's got him, baby. I love these type of fights. So I'm so pumped for this fight. I'm so pumped for the Batman movie too today. So just shout out to Robert Pattinson. I hope you kill it today when I go watch you. It's got rave reviews right now, so I'm hoping it's great. But yeah, Colby's got him.
The only thing that scares me about this fight is that, you know how in every interview they always go, "I know you. I know you, but you don't actually know them.
Yeah.
You've been away from each other for 3 years.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
When
completely.
he knew the lightweight Masvidal, who fought at lightweight, but Masvidal's not welterweight. His weight is the way he fights at is welterweight. He likes to fight. He beats people at welterweight. Masvidal knew Covington when he was like just a wrestler, so he doesn't know the striker, what they call it, Covington. And I feel like this fight has potential to be a dud, very possibly. I hope it's not, but it could, because they're gonna be like, oh, he's gonna strike with me, he's gonna wrestle me, and it's gonna like really throw him off. Mm-hmm. I also don't think that Colby really knows the power of Masvidal, because I was watching it. You know, like when you spar in US, because like they said when they spar, but Colby said he won the sparrings, right?
Because he took him to the ground.
But you can't as a striker, you can't hit your sparring partner. Yeah, like real hard to knock him out. Yeah, right? Because you're like it comes to take you down, and you're setting up a knockout. Well, the only thing you're doing is I'm gonna set up and show you that I could knock you out from right here, but you can take me down because you're wrestling. You're gonna hurt me wrestling me, right? But if I hit you as a striker, hit you hard, I'm gonna knock you out, right? I think Colby has this fight. He should have this fight. He's the second best welterweight in the division. No, it's no debate. Like everyone knows. Colby, if Usman wasn't there, Colby would be the champion, and he would be a dominant champion.
And I think that, I mean, the fights between them, I think it's debatable. I think it's very debatable that Colby won the second fight. I know you may disagree, but I think you could very easily say that it goes 3-2 Colby based on a takedown in the third round. Just if you look at statistics wise, it's very plausible for someone to think Colby won that third round. And there were plenty of people that agree with me that Colby could have very easily gotten his hand raised. I'm not saying that I think Kamaru Usman had the better performance. But if you look at it round by round, I could see how there's a debate for Colby winning that fight. I could see the debate. I probably would have leaned with Kamaru. But I can see why people are saying Colby might have won, because I don't know if you remember this, but there was a significant takedown that Colby had. He didn't stay on top for very long, but it just depends on how you score a takedown.
Yeah, and that's both in the UFC. Also, I'll give Covington his flowers. As a fighter, as a shit talker, as everything, he's one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
And I love these fighters, right? But like, I love Street Jesus.
Jorge Masvidal. This, you know what's on the line? Colby said it best. You know what's on the line? The King of Miami, baby. That's what's on the line.
Put it on his mount guard.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. But anything else you want to add, Ben? Henry, we got to wrap it up because I know somebody else has got to get in here. So.
It is going to be fun.
Yeah, I agree. I'm so excited. You know what, Henry? Had a great time with you on here today.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm definitely down with you coming back on if you're down.
Hey,
had a great time. It's fun talking. Good episode, Ben. Good episode, Ben.
You too.
All right, to the people on TikTok, I don't know how many people watched, and to the people that are listening on here, thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, do whatever you're doing from wherever you're doing it, and just please keep watching. We appreciate you. We love you. This is episode 3 with Henry, Ben, and Braden. Peace out.
Peace out.